So what got you to fall in love with wrestling in the first place?
I started originally doing jujitsu, and I was really depressed. I was very suicidal, and it really just gave me more of a purpose in life, and just gave me something to live for.
Yeah, you're very, very young to
Yeah,
to be a fighter and then to be a coach.
I kind of already grew up into this, and honestly, like when I first heard of MMA, like I didn't even think that it was violent enough for me. Like it takes a lot more like confined skill to be in the cage. Like,
So when I was a kid, I was really big into like professional wrestling, like The Rock. And then once I started with that, I just became addicted. And after that, I found mixed martial arts and jujitsu and everything like that. And it's just been an amazing thing.
That's something I've been curious about that I've been meaning to ask. This isn't something I wrote down, forgive me, but does size matter? Does that make sense?
Size always matters.
Like, there's a big difference between someone that can barely make 155 and someone that can barely make 170. Just the frames, you know. And everybody's cutting weight, so if you don't, you kind of have that little bit of disadvantage.
I start dieting a few weeks out, so it's not like this drastic cut. Laying off some of the stuff that I like, sweets and carbs and things like that, and just eating real clean and lean, doing my cardio, so that way my energy is good and I can have endurance and speed and explosiveness during the fight.
I'm a busy man, so I gotta pick my time slots carefully. My main focus right now is just the weight cut. All the hard work's done. Now it's the act. Like, we're gonna get to the fun part as soon as the weight gets down. That's always the only part that I dread during fight week. I think everybody dreads it.
The stress leading up to a fight, it's a lot. You're putting in a lot of time and effort. You're sacrificing time and effort. And so the stress is a lot, but it makes you perform better, in my opinion.
Do you think that you have to believe in yourself to be successful in what you do?
Have to. You have to.
Why?
Somebody told me a long time ago when I was in the military that and this was just pertaining to my military career, but it pertains a lot to life, and that is no one's going to care about your career as much as you do. No one cares about your life or what you're going through or the struggles you've had or the training you're doing or whatever it is that you're going through. Nobody really cares until you're successful. So you have to have a very fierce belief in yourself and the path that you're on if you want to be there. Nobody really celebrates a loser.
A big part of believing in yourself doesn't necessarily mean that you're fearless. I think when you're really pushing yourself to grow, that you will feel that fear, and that's a good thing, because you can't be brave if there's no fear, right? If you're not scared, then you're not being brave. So I feel that like it's important to do things that scare you and that you get butterflies with.
And so it's very important for you to believe in yourself, because you're stuck with your thoughts at the end of the night, and that's what gets you to wherever you want to be.
Yeah, I'm sure that you are familiar-ish with the Shakespeare quote, "These violent delights have violent ends." How can we find the romance in violence?
my whole goal now is to spread the word through the violence. And it's like, it sounds counterintuitive. It sounds something that you can't do. But believe it or not, everything good in this world came from bloodshed. And all of our freedoms came from bloodshed. Every freedom we have in America came from bloodshed. And violence is a necessary must that needs to happen for peace.
I think we can find the romance in violence when we connect to what attracts us to that violence in the first place.
I think violence is beautiful when you practice it. Controlled violence is certainly very artistic. And I hope to put on a very beautiful display of violence next Saturday.